Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. It is the 11th day of January 2023 already. I hope you're safe and healthy on this Wednesday, on this hump day. Happy hump day. I hope that you and your family are also safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying to save human lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us, doing the dirty work, keeping streets, sidewalks, highways, buildings, stairwells clean, disease-free. Blessings also upon those that do the humble work, delivering food and water, mail for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here doing important work of rescuing, delivering, recovering teenagers and children who every day in every state of the United States, in every county of the United States, are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the profiteers, on those who are the perpetrators, and those perverts that create this heinous industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children living in the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's going to be a basketball game tonight scheduled. New York Knicks are taking on the Indiana Pacers today. Now, the last time the Knicks played the Pacers was during the 8-game winning streak, and it was one of those close games that the Knicks pulled out at the end with the hustle of Julius Randle and the clutch shooting of Jalen Brunson. Now, Pacers are in the hunt, obviously. They're in the 6th seed. They're ahead of us right now. They're ahead of us in the 6th seed, and tonight's game is important in terms of the playoff seeding. Right now, the Knicks are in the 7th seed with the Pacers in the 6th seed, and we are exactly one game behind them. A win tonight would pull us even with them as we were at the beginning of the week. So it's a very important game. Pacers are hot, 8-2 in their last 10. The Knicks have won actually 4 of their last 5. Now their last 10 shows 4-6 because of the 5-game losing streak, but we know that they won 4 straight after that, and then they just lost Monday night. So they've been 4-1 in the last 5. Pacers 8-2 in the last 10. Now, Pacers are the beneficiary of a tremendous trade. I thought it was the fleecing of the year for sure. When they got Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis. Now, apparently, though, that has worked out for both teams because the Sacramento Kings are at 5th seed in the West. They're the 5th seed. Now, that is a function of not only the Sabonis trade, but the drafting of one Keegan Murray. Now, we're going to, matter of fact, speaking of Keegan Murray, Brother Winston, I'll call a shout out to you. He turned me on to, I have already seen Chris Murray, but that was last year. I looked at him again this year. Then I'm going to have a video about him coming up. Because he's a guy that could be there when the Knicks pick, if they choose to pick a rookie. And we'll talk about that during the video. So that's another thing. But the drafting of Keegan Murray by the Sacramento Kings, along with the trade that sent Tyrese Halliburton out and got Sabonis in, has helped the Kings. But the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton running the show, that's a different team now. Shows you what a real point guard could do. So with him, they got, of course, Buddy Hield is playing at a high level, who they also got in that trade. They also have Aaron Nesmith playing at a high level. Of course, there's Miles Turner. So they really have put together a tremendous team. They're 23-18, and as I said, 8-2 in their last 3. They have been surging, and they're coming to this garden for some revenge because, like I said, the Knicks went into Indiana, handed them an L, and it was a battle down to the end. I expect the same thing tonight. It's going to be a battle. The Knicks at this point, as we really know, closing games. Okay. Some of our losses this year have come as a result of us being in the lead and not closing games. Now, a lot of people have pointed to tired legs in a backhand slap at Tom Thibodeau. Tom overplays his players and they play too many minutes and they got tired legs. Some of y'all don't know what you're talking about. Thibodeau has been an NBA head coach for 11 seasons. He has a winning record, 57% winning percentage record over 11 seasons. So this is not the first time he plays his players heavy minutes. He does it. And as far as the 9-man rotation, y'all please, before you start whining, look at the rest of the league. Most of the league plays a 9-man rotation. Okay, so it's not unusual. Players like to play. If a player feels tired, they can come out the game. Tom is not saying you must stay in the game and I'm not letting you out. If Julius felt like he needed a blow, he would get one. Okay? So all of this tired leg bull crap, y'all need to stop with that narrative. See how a narrative takes form and it overrides common sense? These guys are getting paid tens of millions of dollars to play a game. They're paid tens of millions of dollars to get in shape to play that game. Most of them are in their 20s. They can play the minutes. That's not the problem. Okay? Yes, does fatigue get a problem? Yes, but that's with every team. Every team suffers fatigue. It's part of the game. Anybody that's played basketball knows fatigue is part of the game. Okay? So you got to battle through that. But the issue to me tonight, the important issue is Jalen Brunson. That's the issue. Yes, he scores 40, but this has been the dichotomy of such because he scores 40, and yes, it's a great situation that he scores 30 and scores 40, and yes, he got the clutch gene. He hits clutch buckets, definitely, and that's going to help us in the playoffs for sure. But if you don't make that defense work hard, if you only hoisting up one shot and they got a rebound, they just were able to take a play off. See? If you hoist up one shot and you miss, and they get the defensive rebound, they didn't even have to work hard. Versus, if the ball is moving from one side of the court to the other, if it's moving into the post and back out, the defense has to constantly adjust to that. And over the course of a 48-minute game, that wears on the defense. That is what's been happening to the Knicks. We've been playing teams that are moving the basketball. The last time we played, the last game we played against the Bucks, they had more than 25 assists. Because we're moving all over the court for 48 minutes. They were not, because Jalen was coming down and hoisting a shot, and if he missed, they didn't have to play defense on that possession. Okay, at least 3 of their guys didn't have to play defense. Okay, so you want to make the defense run and work from side to side. Plus, of course, you get other players involved, like Quentin Grimes, who you want to get more than 7 or 8 shots. If he's playing 35 minutes or more, you want him to get more than 7 or 8 shots up. So Jalen Brunson, in my view, has to be the one. That's what the point guard does. That's part of his multiple faceted functions. Set the table. Okay, yes, it's not easy to be a point guard in the league, but he is. He's got to set the table. That ball has to move. Some of you say, well, this is on Tibbs. Again, trying to, y'all, some of y'all, like I said, if Tibbs blows a fart, some of y'all want to fire him. Y'all ridiculous, some of y'all. No, it's not on Tibbs. Because if you actually listen to him bark on the sideline, you'll hear him say, move the effing ball. He does that. That's one of his multiple sentences he'll say during the course of a game. You'll hear him say that. So it's not like he's not trying to get Jalen Brunson to pass the basketball. But at the same time, what you must understand is he gives his veterans treatment like veterans and like grown men. Like he don't treat you like a child. This ain't high school or junior high school or college where you guys act they're the parents or the daddy of the players. This is the league. Everybody's a grown man. So he wants the ball to move, but he can't make Jalen Brunson do it. And some of y'all try to talk about offensive sets. You please need to learn what an offensive set looks like. Because every time down the floor, you're seeing off-ball movement and ball movement from the Knicks. What ends up happening is, the way Tibbs has set this up is the ball handler, in this case Jalen Brunson, has several options. every play. He sets it up so that there's several options. You can pass here, you can pass here, he can move here, he can move there. And so the defense doesn't know what option Jalen Brunson's going to take. So what he wants to do is have the ball moving. But Brunson calls his own number more often than he uses anybody else that he has available to him. He might come down and pass it a couple of times, but then he's going to call his own number, in my view. And I learned this from watching a great Oscar Robertson in his prime, long time ago. But what Oscar Robertson used to do, he was a good point guard, dominant, point guard. First guy to have a triple-double, lead the league, and have a triple-double for the season. MVP type player, Hall of Fame, obviously. But the great Oscar Robertson would say, he would use the first 3 quarters, because he was such a tremendous offensive talent, that he knew there was nobody in the NBA. And that's back in the 60s where they were grabbing and scratching and all that. He knew there was nobody in the NBA that could guard him. Okay? But he also knew he couldn't win unless it was a team effort. So he would use the first 3 quarters to get everybody touches and try to get everybody baskets. That's where I learned the value of having 5 guys in double figures on your team. And so he would use the first, and then he would take over in the 4th quarter. Just take over. Okay? And in his team, and he was having trouble winning championships until he got a young man named Lou Alcindor, who later became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the Milwaukee Bucks, and then of course they won the chip together. Okay? But the Big O used to do that. And so I feel like Jalen would take a page from that, move that basketball for the first 3 quarters, and then take over in the 4th quarter when the defense is tired and when everybody's got touches. So now you got Quentin Grimes that's a threat. You may have R.J. Barrett. He's questionable to that, but you're going to have R.J. threat. Julius is a threat. And of course, IQ is a threat. If he's out there, you're going to have threats around you that they got to pay attention to, and now you can go off, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I'm hoping that's the case. And I'm also hoping it's not the case that Jalen is doing all this in a bid to make the All-Star game, because he's hurting his team in a bid to make the All-Star team. And it's going to be hard for him to make it. And I'm going to tell you, because you're looking at Kyrie Irving, Jrue Holiday, James Harden, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton. All of these teams are above the Knicks in terms of the standings. That counts when somebody's picking an All-Star. In terms, not fan, but I'm talking about when the coaches pick. So it's going to be tough for Jalen to make that. He could do 40 a game. If we in the 6th or 7th seed, he still ain't gonna make it. If the Knicks were in the 4th seed, that'd be a different story. But right now we're battling for the 6th seed. And there's too many good guards ahead of him on those teams that are ahead of us. So it's very difficult for him. But you'd be hard pressed to find, more. Okay, so Boston got Tatum, because Brown's really a shooting guard. So Boston got Tatum. Brooklyn, as far as that, they got Durant. Milwaukee obviously got the Freak. Philly got Embiid. Cleveland got nobody that, to me, that's better than Julius Randle. They got some really good players, and the young kid Mobley is going to be better than everybody soon, but not right now. And then for Indiana, they ain't got nobody that's better than Julius. So Julius is going, to me, he's a lock to make the All-Star, because there's just not that many guys along the front line on those teams ahead of him that's better than him. And that's performing like he's performing. They got guys that are below, that would challenge him, like Bam Adebayo, but Miami's below us. They're not. Or Pascal Siakam, Toronto's not even in the top 10 in the East. Or KP is not even in the top 10 in the East. So, unless the fans are voting them in, I don't see them overtaking Julius, because his team is 6 or 7 seed, and he is definitely among the top 6 frontline players in those top 6 teams. So that's why I see Julius getting there, for sure. I don't know about Jalen Brunson though. Okay, so I hope if that's what he's doing, he turn that shot off, turn that mess off, and let's play some team ball and win the game. Okay, get the All-Star. And then I think he's also in this mode where, and this happens to a lot of players. I want to show you I'm worth $100 million I signed for. He don't got to prove that Not to me. I don't know if he got to prove it to some of y'all who are still asking that question, but he ain't got to prove it to me. To me, he's well worth every penny. And, he ain't got to be playing hero ball to prove that, So if he just starts passing that rock, and I especially want Grimes to get at least 13, at minimum 13 shots. I'd like to see him get 15 or more, but a minimum 13 shots for Quentin Grimes tonight is key. Also key, Deuce has got to play more than 14 minutes. You want to get Deuce close to 20 minutes or more for the Knicks to have a chance to win. Because that's the perimeter defense. Grimes, Deuce, Mitchell Robinson, along with Quickly. That is one of their better lineups. That lineup is plus 17. Okay? When you have Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly on the same crew, and then that's plus 17. Okay? Usually they'll either add Randall or RJ. That's plus 17 right there. See? So you want to keep that crew on the floor for at least 20 minutes, and I'm sure I'm not the only one noticing that. So let's see what happens here. Those are the keys to me. As good as Indiana is, and they are good, believe me. I've been telling you, the Knicks, I think, can play with them or better than them when we're playing our best ball. So I expect a tightly contested game. I expect it to come down to the fourth quarter, to the last 5 minutes. And I'm hoping that the New York Knicks at that time, Jalen Brunson comes out of his bag. I hope we need to get 25 assists. And we need to continue to keep the turnovers low and hit your foul shots, daggone it. Your NBA players, hit your foul shots. Okay? So, foul shooting, perimeter defense, of course, rebounding. But I don't have to speak on that because the Knicks are one of the top rebounding teams. They're probably top 3 in the NBA in rebounding. And I don't like to worry about Mitch Rob. He's going to do his thing. They better put some bodies on him, especially when he playing Miles Turner, because at that time Miles Turner popped all those threes on him. He ain't forgot that. So here we go. So I'm not worried about that either. But so you're talking about ball control with the turnovers, keeping that low. Hit your foul shots. Let's get 25 assists today. That's a key. Get 25 assists as a team. Okay, move that basketball. I want Quentin Grimes to get at least 13 shots or more. Deuce McBride should get 20 minutes or more. I'm not worried about Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly, many people sleeping on him. And the reason I say that is because, for example, the last game, you had Jrue Holiday, you had Javon Carter, right? So they're guarding Brunson and they're guarding Grimes, or they're guarding Randall. And they don't got nobody, they had to put Grayson Allen on Emmanuel Quickly. Grayson Allen could not guard Emmanuel Quickly. Okay? You can't. And Quickly could guard him. See? And Quickly did, except for that 1-3 splash, but that was at the end when they were scrambling too much. But it's the same for Indiana. So you got Tyrese Halliburton. He's going to probably guard one of Grimes or Brunson. Then you got Andrew Nembhard, revelation this kid. He's going to guard the other one. So now you're left with Buddy Held trying to guard Quick. Quick's going to destroy that guy. See? So that's why the ball's got to move. Because on the offensive end, Buddy Held is definitely one of the top three-point shooters in the NBA. So you cannot leave him open. Okay? He will knock them down. In fact, he has. I think he leads the league and make three-pointers or something like that. So you got to guard him. So it's going to go both ways, but that's why the ball's got to move. Because you got to make Buddy work on the defensive end to try to offset his offensive prowess. Aaron Nesmith is got a non-COVID related illness, and I think for the sake of everybody, he needs to stay in the hotel. And that means O'Shea Brissett is going to play, and Jalen Smith's going to play more power forward. And neither of them could guard Julius Randle. So we need Julius to keep doing what he's doing as far as playing both two-way basketball. Let's keep doing that. And then, of course, there's the Mitch Rob Miles Turner battle. And I'm not worried about that either, because I got my boy Mitch Rob all day, every day. Okay? So, yes, this is going to be a definite. And then, of course, the bench with Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith. They got a serious mob deep over there. They got the Indiana mob deep. Like I said, Benedict Mathurin, to me, is the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year. So, and TJ McConnell, he's questionable as well, but that doesn't matter. I mean, McConnell's tough. But Mathurin, Duarte, Brissett, and Jalen Smith form a really dynamic bench. For the Knicks, we have Obi back. This is his second game back. Hopefully he's more in a rhythm now. It's gonna take him a few games. Some dude was jumping all over Obi. Obi cost us the game. Obi did not cost us the Bucks game. That was y'all got to see what I did with some of these comments, man. But anyway, the dude played 8 minutes. He did not cost us the game. But see, he's just back after a month off. Takes him a little bit to get acclimated before he starts jumping all in his behind. Just saying. So he's coming back tonight. So you're gonna have the bench of Obi. You're going to have a bench of Deuce. You're going to have the IQ is starting unless RJ plays. So you're going to have a bench of Obi, Deuce. Somebody called Hackenstein. Now that's a good name. Hackenstein. I wish it was Sims, but it's going to be Hackenstein. Hackenstein, Obi, Deuce. And then who am I missing? Hackenstein, Obi, Deuce. Let me look at this here. I'm missing somebody. Oh, right. The reason I'm missing somebody because I'm trying to forget Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier. Okay. Anyway, so RJ is questionable today, which means he's close. If he doesn't play tonight, I'm gonna say he's a lock to play Friday in Washington against the Wizards. So RJ plays, then you're gonna have IQ, and you'll have your fully formed Mob Deep with Deuce, Quick, Toppin, and Hackenstein. I don't want Fournier out there if I can avoid it. But Tom is trying to do. Some of y'all been asking, split the minutes a little bit. It costs us though. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So if RJ does not play, Quick is going to start. You're going to have Deuce, and along with Hackenstein, Obi, and Evan Fournier. So hey, listen, Evan Fournier might pop off and hit four 3-pointers. He could do that sometimes. And now that he's getting a little minutes, he better take advantage of it because he's going back to the end of the bench when RJ come back. So anyway, that's it. It's going to be a tightly contested game. I feel like it's going to come to the last 5 minutes. I feel like it's going to be execution down the back of stretch. We got to be passing that ball in the first 3 quarters, get everybody involved, keep them turnovers down, hit your foul shots, and let's get this W at MSG. Enjoy your Wednesday. Shalom.